Welcome back. It is Sunday the 4th of January 2026. As you can probably tell by the background, I am back in the front bedroom and we have got some more work to do with some plasterboard today, so let's have a little look at that. So yesterday, after I stopped recording, I glued in these reveals here and this one over here, so they're all good. These will all have trims on them and be plastered in, so it'll look better. This one we are going to leave open for now because I think we're going to end up pinging a laser on it and cutting it a little bit lower, because at the moment the window board, if we look down here, would be quite high on the window, and I want it to sit where the actual window sill is, so it'll be a little bit lower, but obviously we don't want it too low because then it's going to get in the way of our rad, and I'm going to order them this week. So today's job is to figure out how we're going to do this bit at the top. So I'm going to start by cutting back this foam, seeing if there's any areas that need more foam put in, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the battens that I've got for the wall. These are just 19 by 38 mil roofing battens, and I'm going to look to see if I can double stack 2 battens on there, and then we should be able to screw the plasterboard to the front of it and screw it underneath, and we'll see how we get on with that. But yeah, I'll show you a little bit more once I've cut some of that back and cleaned it all up and maybe screwed a batten on. Okay, so this is what I have come up with. I just made a small jig to test it out. So we have got a 50mm strip cut here, 80mm strip cut there. We have got our 19 by 38mm batten. Probably use something better, but this is what I've got to hand, and it saves me going out on a Sunday to look for other stuff. And just to give you a show of what it will look like, I'll put it in the middle here. It'll look like that. Again, we don't have to worry about little gaps and stuff at the top because that will all be filled in. But what we need to make sure is it's level on the window. So what I will do now, I've done this jig and it fits in, matches up with the side piece. I'll cut a long strip and we'll make one of these. And then behind it where we've got the gap, so as you can see, we will have the gap from here to here. Separately to that. That's how it will look behind. And then what I'm thinking of is another piece of batten towards the top with a small space plug behind it to take up all that gap. So what I will end up doing is I will screw this batten on first. I don't need I don't need the whole length, so I probably will cut off some smaller bits. We'll have about 5 or 6 going across that whole window, and we will screw each one in. That will give it a solid fix in, and then the other side we can put 2 screws through the plasterboard into that, and that should hold it solid enough for what we are looking for, and that will create that nice reveal at the top. Yeah. Let's cut some more plasterboard. So that is that bit done, which was, yeah, a bit of a pain. But what I've got is I've got some like bits of wood behind it, held in place with a space plug at each end, so they're absolutely solid. And then I just put 3 screws in the middle of each one, spaced them 600mm apart, and then put a longer one down that end. It's quite weird because obviously nothing in these houses is level. So you see there, it's touching, gap down to, I don't know, 3mm down there. And again, big gap there, tightens up all the way down to that end. And it was really annoying me because the window is level as well, and it just wasn't really making a lot of sense. But if I hold that onto there, you can see it's absolutely perfect. So I was like, well, that must be okay then. And I think once it's all plastered, if I use the smaller level on this one, you see there, it's pretty bang on. It's probably about 2 millimeters out, but nothing really crazy. But if you notice how small it is this end, and then it grows as it goes along, I don't think you'll notice. Once it's been plastered and painted and everything like that, I don't think you're really going to notice it too much. But it's nice to have stopped that draft. I'm just debating now whether I drill a few holes in here and fill behind it with some foam, so that will kind of insulate it and hold it solid so it won't move. And if we ever need to fix anything to it, like a curtain or anything in the future, it should be nice and solid. But yeah, day 4 of Vloganuary, and really happy with how we're getting on. What I need to tackle in the coming week, before my father-in-law gets here on Saturday for wiring, is I need to chase in here for a new light switch, because we're going to have this door opening onto that wall. So I need to get the light switch done now. The pendant in this room is all the way over there. So what I need to do is corners to corner, corner to corner, find the center of the room, mark it and drill a hole, like a pilot hole, because we'll be putting a pendant in the center of the room. When we come out of this room and go into the office, which is also a bit of a junk room, again, the pendant is on the right hand side, so we're going to look to centralize that in the room this week. So yeah, loads to get on. Then after my father-in-law has been, I need to batten and plasterboard this long wall so that it is ready for the plumber at the start of Feb. Fingers crossed. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.